Tina's shoulders, and I'm a bit nervous, clearly. So I'm going to take a breath real quick. Okay. Thank you all for coming out. This all started after, I'm big in technology and work a lot in social media, and one of the people that I really admire, Wayne Sutton, had started a 28 days of diversity in social media. And he was recognizing all the people that we don't regularly see of color that are behind the scenes, creating programs, creating technology. And I thought it was interesting. I said, oh, we should do the same thing for product and interior design. It was namely product design because I design a line of textiles and furnishings called Laid Back. And I thought it was interesting because a lot of times you look through the shelter magazines and even on TV and don't see that many people of color represented in there. So I started looking to see all the product designers that I knew, and from word of mouth decided to compile 28 days in the spirit of Black History Month. And started looking at all the people and put it together, which is now the ebook. So I said, oh, it would be great to have a discussion. I had met Lindsay through online, who's from HGTV, and she and a couple of producers and people from her team at HGTV, we all started talking about the fact that they wanted to diversify their network. So the conversation started, and I said, oh, it would be great to kind of launch in the spirit and put a panel of sorts together and just talk about diversity, talk about design, talk about the global movement in design, and see what the next step is in moving forward. So we got a great panel of people together. We have Sheila Bridges, well-known interior designer. We have Lindsay Weinhorn, who does content production at HGTV. Now everybody's in the spirit of how it's done. We have Melinda Lewis, who's a lifestyle blogger. She writes the blog Get Together. This is my son who walks in the middle of the beverages. And we have Kelly Carter from Real Simple magazine. And I'll let everybody introduce themselves a little further, and then we'll just get the discussion rolling. So thank you all for coming.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm Sheila Bridges, and I have been designing for, I guess it's been about the last 20 years. I've had my own design firm for 17 years. And I do generally high-end residential design, but and it's under the company name Sheila Bridges Design. And then I also have a home furnishings company where I design products, and that's called Sheila Bridges Home. And I think in the last year, with everything that's happened with the sort of economic downturn, I've started to shift my business more towards product design from residential design.
I'm Lindsay. I develop the new shows for HGTV, so the idea person, and then we hand it off to someone else to execute. And I also write the blog The Inside Stoop for its behind the scenes HGTV, and mostly just pretty pictures of things.
I'm Melinda Lewis. I run the blog Get Together. It's a lifestyle blog that focuses on decor and design, and my blog pushes the agenda of diversity and inclusion, and I feature decor democracy.
Sure. I'm Kelly Carter. I'm the market editor of Real Simple magazine. I find all of the home products, and I work on all the decorating stories and all the trend pages, and I started off at Oprah's Home magazine.
Great. So let's get the discussion rolling. One of the first things that I wanted to know, I mean, in fashion it's always pretty noticeable whether or not, you know, there are designers or more so models of color, because fashion is all about the person behind it. But when it comes to design, I was wondering if guys even think that it's an issue. Me as a product designer, I tend to notice because we go to events and we see each other, we read the trade magazine. But do you think the issue or the lack of diversity in trade magazines is even an issue or a thought to consumers? People just buying it?
Since I have the microphone, I guess I'll start. It is an issue to me because I do read all the shelter magazines and I do see a lack of design. I flip through, I see like many non-ethnic designers, and I don't know who's behind the products ever, and the designers who are profiled are usually white or I don't know, and when I see like products, when I go to the gift show, most of the people I see are not ethnic, so I try to scout and kind of dig a little, but I have to be sensitive to my approach to find out who's behind or the face behind the products and the projects.
Okay. Well, like you said, I mean, like you said, it's just pretty much just digging in a mine, and you just have to look really hard for to find the diversity. Is it something that the consumer is necessarily aware of? I don't think so. But I think it's up to the people, the gatekeepers, and the people who are behind the who are in control of, you know, what gets seen, take that as a, you know, philosophical approach to featuring more designers of color.
Well, television and blogosphere are two totally different things, so I guess I'll just talk about the HGTV half of it. Television's totally visual, and you see who's holding up the product. And for that matter, for us in general, it's super important to, and we're learning this more as we go, to reflect the people who are watching our network at this point. And I think that what's been happening on cable television is because a lot of networks aren't exactly reflecting the American population. They're losing viewers. And so a really important thing for us right now, how I met Tina actually, is reaching out to a diverse group of designers to kind of learn about what's going on in that whole world of design. There's like an amazing, beautiful, like there's so much stuff out there right now that really reflects a culture that is not that present on our network. So hopefully we'll start being able to get that a little more, because it's, I think people will have trouble, you know, if we look at television as a product, actually watching our network if it's not reflecting them. So it's super important.
It's been answered, but no, I think it's extremely important, and consumers are a lot more educated now, thanks to the internet, thanks also to the media, to television shows about design. So I think people really are interested in the faces behind the actual designs. And I really believe that magazines should really seize the opportunity to feature you know, a more diverse group of people in all of the publications. I'm always curious and fascinated when I find out about who actually designed something. And then if I stumble onto a design I love and then find out that the person who designed it is African American, I'm extremely excited to see someone else of color, just because I think it's so rare.
And many of the designers that were featured in